electricity annually. To put that into perspective, that's the entire output of 23 coal-powered power stations. But there might be a more sustainable answer going forward. It's called Hedera Hashgraph. Now, Hedera uses a new blockchain alternative called Hashgraph, which at times requires 5 million times less energy than Bitcoin. In contrast to blockchain, which constantly grows with new transactions, Hashgraph doesn't have a chain of blocks and uses 2 algorithms simply instead to improve its overall efficiency. In their own words, Hedera are committed to carbon negative operations and have adopted sustainability as a core value. Well, I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Leemon, Baird, the inventor of the Hashgraph algorithm. He's also co-founder and chief scientist at Hedera. Thank you so much for joining us, Leemon. It's so good to have you on the programme. Let me ask you, first of all, in the simplest way possible, for those watching at home who are thinking, what are we talking about? Explain why the environmental cost of cryptocurrencies is so high.
So it's great that Bitcoin gives people the ability to have a decentralized money that they can spend without banks or anyone else in between, but it uses a lot of electricity, more than all of Ireland every year. And so this is not as green as you would like. And so we have Hedera Hashgraph that uses much more than 5 million times less, according to the University College of London report.
So will the environmental cost eventually decrease when we're using more renewable energy for these purposes?
No, because you're using renewable energies that could have been used for something else. The best kind of energy usage is the energy you don't use. And so by using a lot less, that is greener.
How do we get the electricity grid to the point where it's able to cope with the demand, as obviously as we're seeing more and more, society becomes more cashless?
Yes, a big part of that is to have people, say, put solar panels in their house and have the ability to sell it back. And so on top of Hedera, not only are we using very little, we have markets so that the panel on your house, you can sell the energy from it to other people, sell the carbon credits to other people, and bind them together and create markets. And there are markets being built on top of Hedera Hashgraph to trade energy and carbon credits.
How do you think blockchain can be used to build decentralized power grids going forward?
Yes, so this allows it to be decentralized. If you have all these different power generations, including just ordinary people with things on the roof, you have them all selling and buying with each other, not having to sell to a monopoly who then just buys it at whatever price it wants. And so blockchain, Hedera Hashgraph, can allow you to build markets that just decentralize it, get rid of the middleman, and allow it to be more efficient.
I know that you've obviously come up with Hedera Hashgraph for specifically for the reason of becoming carbon neutral. Do you think that the wider tech community has cottoned on now to the fact that we have a climate emergency and something needs to be done about it, and they have a role to play? You have a role to play.
I think so. We're seeing a lot of interest in being carbon neutral or even carbon negative. We use a little bit of energy and then we buy carbon credits to be neutral and we actually make it negative. I think a lot of tech companies now are really on board with trying to reduce carbon footprint.
Okay, Leemon, Baird, it's good to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us on BBC News.
Thank you.